Hello everyone, we are back at it again with Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Last time we left off, we learned some more information about the SO9 incident. And now we are going to the Chief's office. Chief of Police. We're going to Gant's office. Because that was where the final murder of the Joe Dirt killings took place. That was where, Neil Marshall was killed. Jake! Howdy, Bambina. How are you not arrested? How are you not in prison? Oh, Mr. Marshall. I never thought things would turn out this way when I woke up this morning. Que se say, you never know where life will lead you, eh, Bambina? I probably said that wrong. I apologize. I don't speak Spanish. I took French in high school. I took 2 years of French, to be specific. I didn't take any Spanish, so I don't really know how to say that. I should've known my luck had run out when old Billy dried up this morning. Who's Billy? Billy? Must be his pet cactus. Say, where are you headed? Just over to the prosecutor's office for a little interrogation. It's a voluntary appearance, but we all know I won't be coming back. Sorry, but you can't go in the evidence room today, partner. But Mr. Marshall, why did you do it? Why do prospectors head west? If ever there was a case I needed to know the truth about, it was that one. Before you turn yourself in, Mr. Marshall, would you mind telling us exactly what happened? Looks like I won't be getting a steak lunch today. Okay, so now I talk to Marshall. Ouch. Whoops, didn't mean to press the button. Sorry, I was moving things around. Talk to Marshall. I pressed the wrong button again. I'm very smart. Something was fishy about that trial from the beginning. It wasn't just me either. All the detectives thought so. What do you mean fishy? Some of the facts reported were inconsistent with the evidence we found. For example, the murder weapon. The murder weapon? You mean that switchblade knife with the broken tip? That was Joe Dark's, alright. But in the initial autopsy report, a question was raised. A question? Hang on, I need tea. I'm just gonna drink the rest of it. It was getting cold. The tea, got down to room temperature, and so I was like, I might as well just drink the rest of it. A question? The blade of the knife was not a perfect match with the wound the victim sustained. What does that mean? It means there is a good chance that knife was not the murder weapon. However, in the report that was finally submitted, that possibility had been erased. Could the facts have been concealed with forged evidence? That case left behind scars in all of us. The scars that the SO9 incident left behind. I got the looks, but he got the brains. He was one of the best prosecutors around. I had just made detective when it went down. It was our first case together. How old was he, your brother? He was 27 at the time. He was awarded the highest honor that very day. So, he was 27 when he died. Marshall is, I believe, 33 now? If I'm remembering correctly? Yeah, he's 33. So he was 31 at the time, so he was 4 years older than Neil. And he lost his younger brother. That's rough. My sister's younger than me. And like I said before, I could not even imagine how awful it would be if she died. Just out of nowhere. Highest honor, right. The highest honor? You mean the king of prosecutors? I knew it. What are you looking at me like that for? That's an honor for a prosecutor. Mr. Marshall must have really been close with his brother. The day the SO9 incident took place, that wasn't the same day as... That's right. It was the day of the evidence transfer. Interesting. What a coincidence. It was drizzling that morning, but by nightfall there was thunder. I can't believe 2 years had gone by already. I tried to steal the evidence so the case wouldn't die. Apparently someone tried to stop you. Detective Goodman was murdered, and the evidence locker was empty. There was something going on behind the scenes in that case. We all knew that later. Every detective involved in that investigation, save one, was taken care of. Lana was the only one that wasn't fired. Miss Starr was fired, and I was demoted and boxed away in a tiny room. Oh no, Goodman wasn't fired. Lana was, promoted, basically, to prosecutor. But what about Detective Goodman? If they did something to him too, the commissioners would get suspicious. Nah, they were careful enough not to be too obvious. They? Who are you talking about? Don't get upset, Bambina. I mean Damon Gant and Lana Skye. Gant and Skye. Heard quite a bit about them already. The investigation lead, Damon Gant, and his second-in-command, Lana Skye. I've heard they were a force to be reckoned with. There wasn't a person on the force who hadn't heard of that duo. That case was the biggest step in both of their careers. After the case ended, Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office, right? Yep, Damon Gant, the new chief of police, arranged for that to happen. She's never been the same since she left. Everyone who knew her said so. Chief Prosecutor Skye was totally different when she was a detective. Now that he mentions it, I must have something like that too. Tell me, what happened to my sister? Sorry, Bambina, but her secret is too well guarded. I never found out. Lana's secret. It all started 2 years ago. So there you have it. That's my story. Did you enjoy it, partner? It was certainly enlightening. There's one thing for sure I found out in court today. My boy Edgeworth isn't my enemy. He was the one who used falsified evidence to get a guilty verdict, but someone else was the one who gave him that evidence and planned everything. And that someone is Damon Gant. Don't believe me? Well, I don't blame you. I won't even be a patrolman after today. Yeah, you will be a convicted felon, probably. Too bad I won't be around to work with you when you become a real scientific investigator. Adios, Bambina. Man, I like Jake. He's cool. Move to Chief's office. Criminal Affairs Department, Chief's office. This place is always pretty empty, but today it's deserted. That must mean everyone's busy solving crimes. Oh, if you're looking for the others, they're all in the conference room. Thanks. Oh, you actually talked to us. With the chief prosecutor saying what she did and the decision about what to do about Mr. Edgeworth, not to mention our statement to the media and tomorrow's trial, there's more chaos going on than Thanksgiving and Christmas put together. I think festive is the word usually used for those. Sir, we'd like to have, I'm having a stroke. We'd like to have a look around Chief Gant's office. Just use the connecting hallway to the other building and take a... I can't talk. Yeah, I'm also having a stroke. And take the elevator to the top floor. Really? You mean it's okay for us to go in there? I mean, we aren't police officers or anything. Yeah, you're right. You can't go in there. It's off limits. Now I see where Detective Gumshoe gets his unique charm. Speaking of Gumshoe, where is he? Where's my boy? I miss him. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's head to the chief's office. We were just told we can't go there, but, you know, who am I to abide by the rules? Oh, he's got a whole fucking pipe organ in his office? What the how pretentious can you be? Does he even know how to play that? Probably not. My god. And stained glass windows? Are we sure we aren't in a cathedral right now? There's stained glass windows and a pipe organ. I feel like we're in a church. Or a cathedral. I'm not too clear on the difference. I'm not Catholic. Or religious at all. Whoa, where am I? In the chief's office, silly. At least that's what it said on the door. Check out that pipe organ. That's real, isn't it? Hey, I used to take organ lessons in kindergarten. They used to call me Little Miss Bach. Cool. I thought I was a genius until they tried teaching me notes. I never could remember where C was. No, I don't really know anything about music, but isn't the C note what they base, like, everything on? In terms of note placement? Oh, it's you two! Chief Gant. put that paper he was reading in his desk.
So, Righto, have you been swimming lately?
No. No, I haven't. I've been kind of busy lately. I haven't gone swimming in years. It's been years since I, like, legitimately swam in a pool. Like, at least 6.
I can appreciate that. I've had my hands full, too, with Mr. Marshall's conduct and Lana's provocative statement.
Provocative statement? Oh, you mean about the forged evidence.
2 years have passed since that incident. My, how time flies.
Marshall said you were the one that forged the evidence. What's your take on that? Got anything to say for yourself about that?
See that big picture on the wall over there? That's a picture of Lana, Neo, and me.
Hey! I recognize that, urn in the background. I don't know. It looks like it should be holding someone's ashes. Also, why is that suit of armor and, like, the javelin it's holding glowing? Why is it doing that?
It's a picture of Lana, Neo, and me.
So this is Mr. Marshall's brother, Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Ooh, wow, I cannot talk today.
We took it to commemorate our work together.
Something's not right with this picture. I can't quite seem to put my finger on it, though. I mean, there's that urn in the background, or jar, or vase. It's shaped very weirdly. I don't know what it's supposed to be holding, but in that picture, it's not holding anything, and in the present, it's broken.
Anyway, I'd like to reminisce all day, but there are matters that need my attention. I'm going to lock up here, so let's go out together.
Oh, but this office, it was a crime scene 2 years ago, wasn't it?
The case has long since been over, there's no need to investigate it anymore.
All the same, we'd still like to have a look around.
Perhaps you didn't hear me.
I said there's no need to investigate it anymore.
Now hurry up and get out, I have a meeting to attend.
I don't like his face. That's pretty suspicious. Looks like we aren't welcome. Why is the music still playing? It seems that case isn't over with yet after all. What do you mean? Chief Gant denied our request to search the crime scene. That means there must be a reason he doesn't want us looking around in there. You mean like a coil? I mean like several. Several, probably. There's gotta be a way we can get inside the chief's office. See what's popping around here. Hey, pal, Gumshoe! Aren't you supposed to be in a meeting? I'm, just taking a breather. My feet hurt. Do they not have chairs in the meeting room? From sitting so long? Actually, from serving everyone coffee. Sounds like Detective Gumshoe's still out of the loop. Say, have either of you seen Mr. Edgeworth? No, actually, I haven't. Edgeworth? No, why do you ask? He's under fire from both the police department and the prosecutor's office. It's almost like the battle between you two in court. That sounds serious. That doesn't sound good for old Edgeworth. Is it because of what my sister said? It's basically what it all boils down to. I had falsified evidence 2 years ago. Now Mr. Edgeworth has the whole world after his blood. Well, more like just the, police department and the prosecutor's office. Ow, I bit my tongue. Ouch. I'll be fine. Yikes. Alright, time to talk to old Gumshoe. I love Gumshoe. He's awesome. Why would Edgeworth be blamed? It's not like he knew the evidence was forged. Lana Skye is the guilty party here, isn't she? Of the forged evidence, I mean, not the murder. Regardless, the prosecutor is responsible for the evidence they present in court. Not only that, but as you know, there have been a lot of rumors going around about Mr. Edgeworth. His amazing talent as a prosecutor has kept him safe from those who don't like him. But now, with this, are there really so many people who hate him? I mean, I'm not one of them. I'm in love with the man. Sorry. In our world, only those with talent rise to the top. Mr. Edgeworth not only has that, but he's young. There's no better recipe I know of for making enemies. Hey, Dick, keep up the good work. Yes, sir. Let's go out for lunch again sometime. My treat. Yes, sir. You gotta take me back to that joint sometime, okay, Dick? Yes, sir. It seems you don't have any problems with enemies. Yeah, well, I'm careful not to stick out. Anyway, I'm a bit worried about him. Under all this pressure, I'm afraid Mr. Edgeworth just might crack. So, right, Actually, I took a look at the file earlier while the coffee was brewing. He seems genuinely concerned for Edgeworth. Can you blame him? I can't. Well, did you find out anything? The only evidence Dark left behind was during his final attack. His final attack? You mean when he killed Prosecutor Marshall, who was trying to protect some girl? Yeah, that some girl? Yeah, me. Since Detective Gumshoe never realized Emma was the girl. That's when he left the most incriminating evidence of all. A dead body. Right on top of him. Well, what was it? Oh, let's see. I think it had something to do with the murder weapon. Forget. Look, it's all written somewhere in here, okay? Is that so? I pressed the wrong button. Well, it doesn't seem to be in here anywhere, but I am only checking 4 pages with very basic information. Those words must be written in very large font. His powers of recollection never fail to impress. Or disappoint, rather. Maybe we should show him the murder weapon. It might jog his memory. Let's talk about his crimes first. Dark's crimes, not Gumshoe's. I don't think Gumshoe's committed any crimes. He's too much of a goody-two-shoes for that. Gumshoe's too nice of a man to commit a crime. Besides maybe, like, tax evasion by accident. By just forgetting to file his taxes. Joe Dark was 42 at the time of the crime. He was just a run-of-the-mill businessman. A businessman? What made him take to serial killing? It's a very good question. One day, on his way home from work, he hit someone with his car. With his car? So, it was an accident? An accident, yes, but it transformed him into an animal. An animal? He was a werewolf? A very atypical werewolf? A kid walked by just then, so he killed him too. And when he was burying the bodies, a jogger came upon the scene and was killed as well. Finally, he turned himself in. I didn't read the first part of that because I didn't realize it was gonna fucking go on its own without me having any say in it. Seems he was a pretty careless animal. Of course, this is all conjecture. There wasn't a single shred of evidence. So he turned himself in. Yeah, but in the middle of his questioning, he fled and murdered his final victim. Lana said he was taken in for questioning, which I can imply is he didn't turn himself in. There's a lot of weird stuff going on with this case. Also, I just noticed, I don't know if that plush on the windowsill has been there forever, like literally the whole game, but I just noticed it, and it is very creepy. Yeah, but in the middle of his question, he fled and murdered his final victim, Prosecutor Marshall. That crime was witnessed by someone too, but luckily Dark was arrested on the spot. It's a good thing that last witness wasn't killed. That last witness, aka Emma. Present the switchblade. Here, have a knife. Found in Mr. Edgeworth's car, stabbed with Mr. Edgeworth's knife, huh? What would drive Chief Prosecutor Sky to do? Did I present? I presented the wrong knife. That's my bad. My bad. I presented the wrong knife. I just saw a knife with blood on it and I was like, ooh, knife, that must be it. But it wasn't. This is the right one. About this. Hey, is that... There's a tag attached to it with the label SO9 incident on it. I believe this would be the broken murder weapon you were speaking of. What are you doing with that? Ever since that case was closed, that knife's been locked away in a locker. On the day Detective Goodman was murdered, this suddenly disappeared from the locker and was found in Mr. Edgeworth's car muffler. That's it! Now I remember what that incriminating piece of evidence was. When you showed me that knife, it all came back to me. Well, what is it, Detective? Quick, before you forget again. Right, it's gonna go back to talk menu. Murder weapon. This knife. It was Joe Dark's, wasn't it? That's right. We traced it back to the store he bought it at, plus it had his fingerprints on it too. But no one actually witnessed him using it to murder anyone, right? It's starting to seem like there's actually very little evidence against Joe Dark. Because apparently this was the only piece of evidence at the final scene of the murder. Or at the scene of the final murder. Got my words switched around. That's not very strong evidence. I'm getting a little suspicious here. That's where his luck ran out. When you take a good look at the knife, you'll see it's broken. You don't even have to take a good look at it. You just have to look at it, period, and it'll become pretty obvious that, the tip is missing. You don't have to... Thank you, Emma. You don't have to take a good look to notice that. Yeah, well, anyway, take a guess where the broken off tip of the knife was found. In Prosecutor Marshall? That's what did him in. Where was it? The victim, Neil Marshall, was carrying it, inside his own body. It was found deep inside the stab wound. Did it match Dark's knife? You bet, down to the last fiber. That's pretty conclusive. How did the knife break? I'm under the impression that knives are not supposed to be easy to break. Back died from punctured heart and lung. A knife tip was found. Oh, okay. Apparently Gumshoe's just carrying this on him and gave it to us. It was found in the victim's body. Belonged to murderer Joe. Well, they have it in a nutshell. Hang on, let me look at this autopsy report. 27 male, date and time of death, February 19th, between 7 and 7:30 p.m. Cause of death, single stab wound, piercing heart/lung. Died from blood loss in under 10 minutes. Weapon found in wound was missing tip. Got it. Okay. Nothing seems immediately suspicious about that. Although pierced the heart and the lung. I'm not clear on organ placement, but isn't the heart, kind of between the lungs? But so it had to... I don't know. I don't know where organs are, really. I'm not too clear on it. I don't know anatomy. I never took an anatomy class. There was an anatomy and physiology class. I think there were two. There's, anatomy and physiology 1 and anatomy and physiology 2. It would have been interesting to me, except that I know in those classes you would have to dissect things, and I don't have the stomach for that. And I know that because in, I think, 7th or 8th grade, I had a biology class, which seems very early for a biology class, but I was in gifted classes, so we were a year or two ahead of the regular classes, because that's how they treated gifted kids. But I had a biology class, and at one point we had to dissect a mushroom, and I couldn't even do that because it smelled so bad. So I could not dissect a frog or a pig heart or something. It's pretty gross. They keep that stuff on formaldehyde, and there was a formaldehyde spill at my high school one time. Not while I was in high school. I was in 8th grade when it happened, but there's a formaldehyde spill that forced the entire school to evacuate, because formaldehyde is pretty dangerous. You don't want to breathe that stuff in. And I remember the buses were late getting to the middle schools that day. There were 2 middle schools. They were right across the street from each other. I was supposed to go to one, based on the elementary school that I went to, but I had to actually go to the other, because I was in the gifted courses, and the other, only one of the middle schools had gifted classes, and the other one didn't, so I had to go to the one that was, not the one that, based on my elementary school, I should have gone to, but I would, in the afternoon, have to go across the street to the other middle school, the one that my sister went to, because she was not in gifted classes, so she went to the other middle school, and we would take the same bus home, so all the gifted students, and other students too, it wasn't just gifted kids, but people who would have to go to the other middle school to get a bus home would be dismissed early, I think 10 minutes earlier than other students in the middle school, so that we could catch the bus and go across the street. I usually walked across the street if the weather was nice, because if I was fast enough at getting my stuff packed up, I could get across the street before the shuttle bus did, which was pretty funny, actually. But I remember getting across the street, and normally, on most days, most buses would already be at the other middle school. They would already be, lined up in the parking lot so students could get on and then go home. But I remember that day, when there was the formaldehyde spill at the high school, a lot of the buses were not there yet, because the high school had to evacuate because of the spill, and it was right at the end of the day, which was very unfortunate timing. So everyone had to go outside and wait for things to be cleared, and then go back in and get their stuff and get on the buses, and it held everything up. So the buses were late that day. I don't remember exactly how I got here, but it doesn't matter. Whatever, it'll be fine. Now you know a little bit more about me and a crazy story about something that happened. Well, they have it in a nutshell. That's all I know. Can I ask you one more thing? What is it? If it's money you need, you should ask Chief Gamp. It's not money, but it does concern the chief. His office is a crime scene, right? I mean, it was 2 years ago it was a crime scene, yeah. It's where Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered. The chief's out now and his office is locked, but we'd like to have a look around if that's okay. Well, any detective's ID card can unlock the door. What, really? That's good for us, because we have Goodman's ID card. But if I let a civilian in there, I'd be charged with breach of trust. Breach of trust? Simply put, I'd be canned. Oh. Sorry, pal. I don't plan on getting fired because of you. How about this ID card? It was Detective Goodman's. It won't work either. The data was deleted the day he died. Oh. So, in other words, Gumshoe is our only chance of getting into that office. Steal his ID card. I wonder if there's something we could show him that would make him change his mind. Well, let's consult the walkthrough in the next video. My story about the formaldehyde spill at the hospital seems to have added several minutes to this video. Sorry, just once again checking how much is left in this investigation section, because it is long. But anyway, on the next video, we will continue, find something to bribe Gumshoe with, and then probably get closer to the truth. Have a good day. See you on the next one. Drink some water. Yeah, stay hydrated. It's important to drink water.